Hi everybody, so this is going to be my little 15-minute video journal, 5 minutes coming into the open and then 10 minutes afterwards. So this is take 2, attempt 3, so hopefully things go well this time. Right now I'm running so late this morning. I got a whole new setup. Like I wanted to really focus on making these recordings, so I changed everything. So I'm a little behind. Yeah, I haven't really scanned. I did scan through everything. It seems mostly like cheap stocks. Really, KZR seemed most interesting. I really did not look into it. So, like I said, I'm just behind this morning and I just have to get used to my new setup layout. So, basically, I'm looking at LI right now. Half the reason because Rich called it out. And it's got some nice prints in it. So it came down, maybe it came down 5%. So these ask prints, not gonna really be looking to follow them just because it could be covering. But we do have some great off level selling right above it, and obviously like it's down 5%, so the path of least resistance seems to be down at the moment. And apparently there were, well, we have these 5 bit prints at 37.70, so I would expect a tiny pull up from there. I mean, I'm so behind, guys. Like these came in right over here, so yeah, I would expect a tiny pull up, but honestly, really something that stands out would be my first priority. I am just giving higher priority to a downside move, so a short, just based off of the prints and then the personality, right? So, ideally, these guys, you can't really follow them. They're not controlling prints, so this move down already makes sense. Like, these people could have made their money. So I was really looking for a pull up to 38, and above 38 would be where I'm looking for my trade. I wouldn't want to see, I mean, what I mean to say is for that to be still viable, I wouldn't want to see new buying coming in because then it could show an extended push up. Even to 38.50, I would still expect resistance 38.50, maybe even where this volume bar is at 38.84. I mean, if it went to 39 from 37, that's pretty much hitting its range above it, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I guess I could be looking for a short. It just depends on what we see. Okay, so right now, definitely just geared for a move to the downside, and ideally, I want to see controlling prints. Otherwise, I'm not gonna take a trade on a recording with no controlling prints. That would be insane. But yeah, so we got 10 minutes left in this recording. I'm gonna scan on my other screen, and I'm probably a little bit frozen, or not frozen, but just like laggy. Yeah, but it's okay. We got nice selling above 37. I mean, so definitely leaning towards the downside, right? Between consolidation and downside or upside. Downside has a higher percentage at this point. So trading 50-cent increments. And that's mostly because of this like larger type of move since it only trades on average 150. I would actually expect it to be like trading at 20-cent increments. But yeah, these are pretty ballsy, right? Still gonna want to see controlling prints. I'm gonna keep scanning. Then let's see. hard to see my other screen, but it's okay. So right now, I just pulled a Baba, and it's really thin. I'm not going to bring it up. I'm just going to keep scanning, and then I'm going to be waiting for controlling prints on this one, I guess. I guess you could argue that these ask prints are actually buying, like new buying. So it is somebody entering a position and now it's pulling back from there because it's respecting 37 pretty well. So it would make sense, like if somebody bought it, they'd want to hold it up, right? If somebody was selling it and wanted it to go down, unless they're building to the upside still. I mean, like pulling up to bring it back down. Um, and there's a lot of volume around this 37, then it would make sense for it to hold this level, especially with those ballsy prints coming into the open, you know? So, I mean, everything is set shorter move to the downside. We're just not seeing it. So, this stock is consolidating, but, you know, it's what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes into the open? I would not expect it to continue moving sideways. Okay, so just nothing I could do with it. So I'll put this one on my other screen. One sec. LI. So slow. Bear with me. Alright, well, let's see if we got some controlling prints. Usually when I have a stock up on two screens, like my platform gets exponentially slower, and now this is happening like right as I put this stock up on my other screen, but it's okay. All right, let's see. No, I'm gonna change it real quick. Okay. All right. So we got some selling at 37. Nothing really outstanding. I mean, it's pretty average. Ballsy within the same burst. So these are kind of like the 99 ask prints that we were talking about in, I think, last Traders Exchange. So a week ago, so on the 21st, June 21st, like they're one block, right? So they're just trying to like gather as many shares. Like it's not at the level, but it's almost as if it's a part of this level, is my understanding of what these ballsy prints are at 3701. Um, or maybe they're just like normal ballsy prints. In any case, we got reaction of ask prints. So I wouldn't expect, yeah, this move down to be have a long lifespan. So the 80 cent, you know, I mean, I'm so slow, but the minor level, the low of the day, it bounced right off of that, right? And now it's kind of pulling up, not only from those prints at 37, but also just from, you know, the 3710, right? I mean, that was above 3720, you know, so I mean, this move makes sense. 3750 is definitely going to be worth watching. Psych level, right? So, and unfortunately, I wasn't watching. So these kind of look like ask, kind of look like bid. I know 3750 is going to be a resistance, so let's just keep an eye on it, right? Like I said earlier, I am leaning towards the downside, so looking for a trade to the downside. I just wish it'd get out of the spot. I don't know if I said this earlier, but originally I was looking for a pull up to 38.20 and then coming back down to 37. But I think my thing was that I didn't have controlling prints. So it was a game plan that I like didn't have controlling prints for. So that's why I was gonna move on to another stock. But I mean, it's kind of doing exactly what makes sense. The prints, what makes sense, like what the prints are saying. It makes sense what it's doing. I don't know. I totally butchered that, but yeah. Okay, now we got 3750. These actually look like bids. So okay, cool. Great. Basically, same game plan, right? Maybe it is trading 50-cent increments, but on average, it looks like it's trading 20. So I think if pull up to 38 still makes sense. If it has to pull up to 38.52, that's fine. No problem there. It would still be like the same game plan, more or less, just at a different price. So would I anticipate this move to the upside? Like, am I looking for a trade to the upside? I mean, I guess that is the most immediate move that I see coming. So even though I'm leaning towards the downside, that doesn't mean that it's not going to move to 38 first. So would I take that trade? I mean, I'm not going to take that trade. I mean, it's what, 8 minutes into the open, so they could build fast. So I mean, there's an argument to take this trade. You just have to be quick about it. So I'm just not going to, because if it's quick to build, then why not just wait for this short, right? Off 38 or above 38 is where ideally I would like it. But I guess even off 38 not hitting, right? No problem there. And there's so much congestion over here. Gotta watch out for that. So even though I'd have a price target of 37, I definitely still want to be defensive over here. Would definitely want to see selling, off level selling, and then volume. I guess the ideal situation is just to wax, right? Just bust right through it. But I would need some good, at least consistent volume, right? Trading high, consistent volume for it to just have no problem hitting my price target. And we'll see that in the prints how adamant they are. But right now, just watching to 38, and that's pretty much my game plan. Um, so that's about 15 minutes. I'm gonna go a little longer just because I didn't really do much. So here's my other screen. This is just like what was up. Like I said, I wasn't really scanning. I'm pretty behind. So let's see. Amazon, obviously. So what's catching my eye right now? We've got 115 right up above us, and really thin print personality. I mean, like, it's two, so it's not crazy thin, but it's still thin, and I'm not seeing anything like extremely outstanding, so I would expect its personality to continue until 115. So I mean, for not much longer. Let me pull up Amazon on my main screen. 1 second, I'm just getting used to this new setup. I'm a little slower. Yeah, and then this one, it pulled up 25 cents, and then it's making a move back down. I wouldn't expect this to be money time. So it's just a slower moving stock. Let's move to Amazon. So average range 505. Let's move $2. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, just looking at like the charts, like how it's been moving for the past couple days, I would not be surprised to see 115 ask get hit. above print personality, it having to pull back, and then probably moving back to the upside, so beyond 115. So because it's 115, and we know, 5, 115, 15 is a cycle level, right? I wouldn't mind looking for this trade to the downside, the number one pullback. If we got aspirants, I mean, this is all hypothetical, right? I still need controlling prints to follow, but that's just what I'm expecting at this point. So 115 aspirants, and no order there yet. But 115 aspirants above print personality pullback, I would take it just because it's at that psych level. And I'd also have to understand that it's probably a quicker trade. I'm not going to be looking for a huge run, probably just to this orb line, if anything, just depending on the size of those prints at 115. I'm thinking orb line would make sense. These bars are pretty consolidated, so I definitely have to just like, I would think that's a bit extended of a price target. And yeah, let's check out LI again. So yeah, we saw that bar down earlier. Well, I mean, it was like just, it was literally a bar down. It wasn't like a bar of justice type of bar, right? It was just an average bar, and it did nothing from it, right? So I would still be looking for it to move to the upside. We'll see if we have enough steam to get us beyond 38, and if not, definitely can look for an entry if it doesn't hit 38. So I would put my order at 3880, 3870, 3881 is what I would normally do. So it's like less risk that I'm putting in. And we've got these ask prints. It looks like I wasn't paying attention, but it's kind of all over the place. I wouldn't even know what that would be, but yeah, unfortunately, I'm just like not seeing anything. I'm gonna check the chat and see if there's anything. Nike and then CCL, AGRX, and Meta. Oh man, come on. Nike, CCL, Meta, GRX, AGRX, Meta, Whites, and then XOM. Alright, cool. So let's just scan these, starting with Nike. So Nike, XOM, Meta are all like brand name stocks. I'm sure this is a brand name too, like Carnival Cruise. I forgot what it is, but let's check it out. Wow. So this one's definitely got like a smaller range. So obviously, because it has a smaller range, I'm probably gonna want to go with the prints instead of trading against them. So if I see a bunch of ask, I'm probably gonna look for that number 4 trade instead of the number 1 trade, just because the risk to reward on the short just wouldn't really be there. And plus, it kind of screw me up looking for the long if I'm in it short, right? I mean, at my level, I'm sure some people can do both just fine, but I prefer to look at things one at a time, so that's what I'm gonna do. Got nice prints just below 11, and then If it hit 11, I didn't see it. So yeah, this one's a bit of a slower mover. Let's see, Li still not at the spot I'm really looking for it to be in, like off that 38. So it's still a little bit of ways from there. So nothing to really check out yet over there. I'm gonna check out Nike now. All right, cool. So this one just popped up, came right back down. So it looks like it's pulling back. Total guess. I could be anything. I'm not sure. It just looks like it. That's what would make sense to me, considering the volume, and then it just like comes right back down on less volume. It looks like pulling back to build. Not seeing much selling in it. Really thin orders. So this is obviously gonna have more weight than it usually would. Like versus a cheap stock, obviously. This would have pretty much no weight at all. As far as substance goes. But yeah. Meta. Meta's fun. I was looking at Meta the other day, and I think I was like keeping. I was like the pace of the meta. I was following it pretty well. Is what I'm trying to say, or at least I thought. So it's fun to watch. But yeah, I mean today it just seems like personality of day. These bars are just like it's kind of smooth because it's got such a big range, but it's kind of choppy because they overlap, right? So, I mean, it's trading not even half of its range, which I guess is totally, I mean, 20 minutes at the open is crazy, but yeah, pretty slow. Just overall, I'm pretty slow today. So maybe I'm just gonna have to wrap up my video on that note because I'm already what 10 minutes? Yeah, 10 minutes over what I liked. So and Li, like how consolidated this is. That's no good. So yeah, personality of day, just not really anything exciting. I don't know. There's probably a more descriptive word, but AGRX. This is new. And relatively speaking, it's pretty smooth. I mean, even though it's got 55-cent range on average, it's like actually covering some distance as far as its range goes. So, liking that. Look at the volume. Oh, I'm gonna have to. Um, ooh. Okay, I'm gonna stop this recording and then move on to Oxy.